Fungi are fascinating organisms that inhabit our planet and play crucial roles in nature, but which often end up going unnoticed by the majority of the population, which is a real shame, given that in the vastness of the fungal kingdom, there are many incredible organisms that defy our imagination and leave us fascinated with all their complexity and originality. From bioluminescent fungi that illuminate dark forests at night to fungi with unique and impressive appearances and shapes, they are all truly admirable, and it is exactly some of these that we are going to present in today's video. 20 strange fungi you won't believe exist. Bleeding tooth fungus. And let's open our list by talking about a notoriously striking fungus that certainly arouses immense curiosity in anyone who sees it for the first time. Popularly known as bleeding tooth fungus, this species is easily recognizable by its peculiar appearance, especially when young, when its whitish surface releases droplets of an intense red liquid, which gives the impression that the fungus is bleeding. This effect is due to a process called guttation, in which the fungus excretes excess liquid rich in pigments, and despite its intriguing appearance, the bleeding tooth fungus is not toxic, but it is also inedible due to its unpleasant taste that persists even in dried specimens. This fantastic species of fungus grows mainly in temperate forests in North America and Europe, forming symbiotic associations with tree roots and helping to absorb nutrients from the soil. And an interesting curiosity is that over time, it loses its reddish color and takes on a drier, browner appearance. Basket stinkhorn. Easily recognizable by its distinctive appearance, with a fruiting body that closely resembles the shape of a cage, the basket stinkhorn is a species of fungus found mainly in temperate regions and grows in soils rich in organic matter, such as forests and areas with decaying wood. During its development, the basket stinkhorn is born encased in a gelatinous structure called an egg, which eventually breaks open to reveal its characteristic unusual reddish spherical structure made up of interconnected branches, similar to a cage or three-dimensional net, which makes it one of the most easily recognizable fungi in the world. This reddish network releases a dark, fetid mucus known as gleba, rich in spores, and the unpleasant smell of this mucus attracts insects, especially flies, which become agents in the dispersal of the spores, helping the fungus to reproduce, which means that, although it is not poisonous, the repulsive odor of basket stinkhorn makes it unsuitable for consumption. Jelly ear. Popularly known as the jelly ear, this distinctive fungus is a species that stands out for its unusual jelly-like appearance and brown color, which closely resembles the shape of a human ear, inspiring its popular name. This fungus is widely distributed around the world and is found in many temperate regions, including Europe, Asia, and North America, and generally grows on dead tree trunks or fallen branches, preferably in damp, shady places. Unlike many fungi that have a strong odor or a repulsive appearance, the jelly ear fungus is edible and much appreciated in Asian cuisine, especially in China and Japan, where it is used in soups and braised dishes due to its crunchy texture and ability to absorb flavors. And in addition to its gastronomic use, it is also widely used in traditional Chinese medicine, where it is valued for its medicinal properties, believed to strengthen the immune system, improve blood circulation, and have anti-inflammatory properties. Bird's nest fungi. Now let's talk about a fungus that will probably become one of your favorites if you're a bird lover. In reality, the popular name bird's nest fungus doesn't necessarily refer to a specific species of fungus, but rather encompasses a variety of fungi characterized by their unique appearance, reminiscent of small nests containing birds' eggs. Bird's nest fungi have cup-shaped fruiting bodies called peridia, which are very reminiscent of the structure of a bird's nest, and inside this structure are these small spherical structures often referred to as eggs, but which are actually structures called peridioles, and which contain the spores responsible for the reproduction of the fungus. These fungi are mainly found in temperate regions and are saprobic, which means that they feed on decaying organic matter, such as dead wood and plant remains, playing an important role in recycling nutrients. But the most surprising part about these fungi probably lies in the way their spores are dispersed, which is particularly interesting, because the walls of this structure known as a nest are shaped in such a way that when a raindrop hits one of them at just the right angle, the spores inside are expelled away from the fungus, thus helping the species to propagate. Zombie fungi. Now we're going to talk about a fungus that's a little different from the other cases we've seen so far, but that doesn't make it any less interesting. We're talking about fungi popularly known as zombie fungi, which get their name from the fact that they basically turn other organisms into zombies in a fascinating and frightening phenomenon of nature. If you've ever played the game or watched the series The Last of Us, perhaps this idea doesn't seem new to you, but if you've never played the game or heard of zombie fungi, let us give you a brief explanation. Basically, in the story of the game franchise and the series The Last of Us, fungus. The fungus that causes the zombie apocalypse derives from a mutation of a genus of fungi called cordyceps, which begins to turn people into zombies. But that's all well and good. After all, it's all just the stuff of fiction, isn't it? Well, actually not completely, since this fungus does exist in real life. But unlike the story of the games and the series, it fortunately doesn't affect human beings, but small living beings like insects, for example. But in addition to the species of fungus of this genus that we have mentioned, there are now many other species of zombie fungi, and the victims affected by these parasites are usually insects, such as ants and cicadas, or even some species of spiders that have their behavior altered and totally controlled by the fungus, which in many cases can even make the host leave its colony or its natural environment to seek out a specific place, usually more favorable to the growth of the fungus. One of the best-known examples is the fungus of the species Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, which mainly affects ants, in a process that basically consists of the following. The ant is infected by the spore of the fungus which grows inside its body, and once it is sufficiently developed, begins to control the ant's behavior. Under the control of the fungus, the ant then leaves its colony and climbs a plant. It then bites into the central vein of a leaf or branch, where it attaches itself permanently, allowing the fungus to then grow through its body, later exiting through the insect's head, and thus releasing spores that fall below to infect other ants. Devil's fingers. Originally from Australia and New Zealand, but having already been introduced to several other regions, including Europe, Asia, and North America, this next fungus we're going to show you is popularly known as devil's fingers, and is easily recognizable by its unique and somewhat frightening appearance, often being described as some kind of alien creature, or even associated with legends and superstitions due to its unusual shape. During its initial phase, it develops inside a gelatinous spherical structure that breaks off as the fungus matures, and from this opening, 4 to 8 elongated reddish arms emerge, very reminiscent of the tentacles of an octopus or the fingers of some creature, hence the inspiration for its popular name, devil's fingers. As in the case of the basket stinkhorn fungus we've already shown you, the devil's fingers fungus is also inedible, and its arms or fingers are often covered in a dark, viscous substance called gleba, which gives off a strong, unpleasant odor similar to rotting flesh to attract scavenging insects such as flies, which end up carrying the spores to other areas, helping to spread the species. LACTARIUS indigo. Now let's talk about another very interesting fungus, which in this case stands out for its distinctive and beautiful color. Known by the scientific name Lactarius indigo, this fungus is easily recognizable by its striking intense blue color, making it one of the most visually striking mushrooms in the world, and its hue varies from deep blue to blue-gray, fading to a greenish tone as it ages or is handled. This mushroom grows in temperate and subtropical forest soils in North America, Central America, and some regions of Asia, always associated with trees, forming mycorrhizal relationships that help absorb nutrients, and despite its unusual appearance, it is edible and is consumed in some cultures, being prepared in various ways, and with its taste being described as bitter and slightly spicy. In addition, another distinctive feature of this fungus is its ability to expel a milky blue liquid when its flesh is cut or broken, and this liquid contains substances called lactones, which are responsible for the slightly peppery taste and the oxidation that causes the bluish color to change over time. Orange pore fungus. Popularly known as orange pore fungus, this is another fungus that draws attention due to its vibrant coloration, with its fruiting body showing an intense orange hue and a very distinctive shape, with the underside full of clearly visible pores, an unusual feature in fungi of its group, which usually have lamellae. Originally described in Madagascar, this fungus has spread to various tropical and subtropical regions of the world, including New Zealand, Australia, South America, and some areas of Europe, and grows mainly on dead wood, playing an essential ecological role in the decomposition of organic matter and the recycling of nutrients. Most of the time, this fungus grows in large groups on fallen trunks and branches, and as its pores are large and visible, this makes it easy to identify, even more so if we consider its vibrant orange coloring. However, although its eye-catching coloring arouses curiosity, there are still no reliable records about its edibility. Jelly drops. Widely distributed in North America, Europe, and Asia, this fantastic species of fungus, popularly known as the jelly drops, grows mainly on decaying tree trunks, forming small groups of rounded structures, and is easily recognized by its violet to pinkish color and jelly-like texture. A very interesting curiosity is that during its life cycle, this fungus can have two distinct forms, one asexual and the other sexual. In the asexual phase, it appears as irregular, gelatinous masses, while in the sexual phase, it develops more defined cup-shaped structures, which means that this double morphology can lead to confusion when identifying it, even though both forms belong to the same species. Bridal veil stinkhorn. Now we're going to talk about another impressive species of fungus that attracts attention because of its unique appearance. Popularly known as the bridal veil stinkhorn, this species is famous for its delicate and at the same time exotic appearance, with its most striking feature being its fruiting body, which displays a lacy white structure that hangs downwards and is very reminiscent of a bride's veil, a look that makes it easily identifiable and has earned it fame all over the world. This fantastic mushroom can grow up to 25 centimeters in length and is found in tropical regions of the Americas, Africa, South Asia, and Australia, with its life cycle beginning with an egg stage, where the fungus presents itself as a white spherical structure, and as it matures, the fungus emerges from this structure covered in a slimy goo that gives off a strong, unpleasant smell, similar to that of rotting meat, which attracts insects, such as flies, that help disperse the fungus's spores. Today, the bridal veil stinkhorn is consumed in many parts of the world, especially in Asia, where it is appreciated for its crunchy texture and delicate flavor, and is often used in soups and gourmet dishes, but it also has many other properties and uses. In traditional Chinese medicine, for example, it is valued for its antioxidant and antibacterial properties, and is used to treat inflammatory diseases, stomach problems, and neural disorders. And it is also known and valued in many parts of the world for its aphrodisiac properties, and because it is believed that the smell of the mushroom can induce sensations of pleasure in some people. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, but personally, I think I'd rather avoid this practice. Dead man's fingers. Imagine you're walking alone in a forest when you suddenly come across human fingers sticking out of the ground. You'd probably be scared and think that our world was experiencing a real zombie apocalypse, right? But should this situation ever occur to you, the explanation may be a little different. This is because there is a species of fungus popularly known as dead man's fingers that stands out precisely because it has this strange appearance, similar to the fingers of a zombie or dead person, an unusual characteristic among fungi, and one that arouses curiosity and even a certain fear in those who encounter one of these. The fruiting bodies of this fungus can remain for several months or even years, releasing spores continuously during this period, and in addition to its distinctive appearance, the dead man's fingers fungus also plays a crucial role in the ecosystems where it lives, acting as a decomposer of dead wood. This is because it releases enzymes that break down the main components of the wood, thus transforming it into nutrients that can be used by other organisms. Giant puffball. Before you ask, know that no, that's not a big white ball on the ground, but just an unusual species of fungus. Unlike many other species that have a distinct stalk and hat, this impressive fungus, popularly known as giant puffball, grows as a large, smooth white sphere, often mistaken for a ball in the soil, and is notable for its impressive size. The giant puffball can be found mainly in fields, pastures, and open areas of North America, Europe, and Asia, and like most of the other species of fungus we've seen so far, it is a saprophytic organism and feeds on dead organic matter, with its fruiting body initially being white and rounded, turning yellowish and then brown as it matures. In its young stage, its white interior is edible and can be eaten in various ways, such as boiled or fried, and it has a mild flavor similar to common mushrooms, but as it ages it turns green-brown and should not be eaten. Amethyst deceiver. Popularly known as amethyst deceiver, this unique fungus, unlike the giant puffball we've just shown you, doesn't stand out for its large dimensions as its size is extremely small, but that doesn't make it any less visually striking. That's because the main characteristic of this species is a very beautiful and striking intense violet coloration, which can vary from a vibrant purple tone when young to a paler, faded shade as it ages or in dry climate conditions. This fantastic species grows in temperate forests in North America, Europe, and Asia, usually associated with some specific species of tree with which it forms a mycorrhizal relationship, which is beneficial for both the fungus and the tree, as it helps absorb nutrients from the soil in exchange for sugars produced by the plant. And although it is considered edible, this species is not very popular in cooking, as its taste is bland and its texture can be a little fibrous, and it also has the ability to absorb heavy metals from the soil, which means that it can be contaminated in polluted areas, making its consumption potentially dangerous. Turkey tail mushroom. Found almost everywhere in the world, the turkey tail mushroom is a very common fungus and, as in other cases we've seen so far, it stands out for having an appearance reminiscent of something else. In this case, as you might have guessed, this fungus stands out for having an enormous resemblance to a turkey's tail, which inspired its popular name. This fungus grows on the trunks of dead trees, forming overlapping layers, and its surface is flat and has concentric zones of multicolored appearance, ranging from brown, gray, orange, green, and even blue, and although it is not considered edible due to its hard and woody texture, texture, it can be consumed in the form of teas or medicinal extracts, as it contains bioactive compounds that have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, and is highly valued and recognized for its properties in some cultures around the world, especially in traditional Chinese medicine. EARTHSTARS. The popular name EARTHSTARS does not necessarily refer to a specific species of fungus, but rather to a genus made up of fungi with a unique and fascinating appearance, which stand out and are given this name due to the characteristic shape of their fruiting bodies, which resemble stars when they mature and open up in the soil. These fungi begin their development as small, closed, hardened spheres, often hidden under the surface of the soil or on organic matter, and as they mature, the outer layer of the fruiting body splits into lobes that fold outwards, creating a star-shaped structure that exposes a central sphere containing the spores, and this opening makes it easier for the spores to be dispersed by wind or the impact of rain. EARTHSTARS are found in various regions of the world, especially in temperate and tropical forests, where they play a very important ecological role by acting as decomposers, and although they are not toxic, they are generally not considered edible due to their fibrous texture in the mature stage in which they are usually found. However, many people still like to collect and take home-dried specimens of these species as a curious and unique souvenir of nature. Lion's mane. We've already talked about a fungus that looks a lot like a turkey's tail, and even fungi that look like birds' nests. And now it's time to talk about another fungus that has an appearance reminiscent of the animal kingdom, popularly known as lion's mane, and which obviously got its name due to its rather peculiar appearance, which is very reminiscent of the mane of these felines. Found mainly in Asia, Europe, and North America, where it tends to grow on dead trees. This fungus is highly valued in cooking both for its soft, fibrous texture and for its unique flavor reminiscent of seafood, which is why it is becoming an increasingly popular option for vegan dishes. As far as the medicinal field is concerned, it is widely used in traditional Chinese medicine to treat digestive problems and stimulate the immune system, as well as gaining a great deal of scientific attention in recent years due to its potential neuroprotective properties, with many studies suggesting that it may help prevent neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as well as having anti-inflammatory and immunomodulatory effects. Sky blue mushroom. Now let's talk about another blue mushroom that also stands out for its enormous beauty. Popularly known as sky blue mushroom, this small mushroom, found mainly in New Zealand and some areas of India, usually grows in moist native forest soils and is a species notable for its vibrant blue coloring, which gives it a unique look. Its fantastic intense blue color is due to the presence of pigments derived from azulines, the same compounds found in some corals and insects, and despite its mesmerizing appearance, it is not considered edible and its level of toxicity is not yet fully understood. To give you an idea, the sky blue mushroom is so iconic and plays such an important symbolic role in New Zealand that it has even appeared on the New Zealand $50 bill as an icon of the country's biodiversity, with its rare and incomparable appearance making it one of the most photographed and admired mushrooms by nature and mycology enthusiasts around the world. Brain mushroom. With a wide distribution in Europe and North America, this mushroom usually fruits in sandy soils under coniferous trees during spring and early summer, and is easily recognizable due to its dark brown color and irregular shape that have earned it the popular name brain mushroom due to its striking resemblance to a human brain. Although it is considered edible after proper cooking and is a popular snack in some regions of the world, this species of fungus can be potentially fatal if eaten raw due to the presence of a toxin that affects the liver and central nervous system, so symptoms of poisoning can include vomiting, diarrhea, and dizziness, and in more serious cases can progress to delirium, coma, and even death. Ox tongue fungus. Now we're going to talk about another fungus that joins the list of fungi that look like the body part of an animal, and which is probably the most realistic fungus in this regard, not only because of its external appearance, which really does resemble a bovine tongue, but also because of its internal appearance, which makes it look extremely similar to a piece of raw meat. Popularly known as ox tongue fungus, this fungus is found in various parts of the world, including Europe, North America, Africa, and Australia, and grows on both living and dead wood, with its fruiting body being fleshy and exceeding 30 centimeters in width. When young, the surface of this fungus is pink to red, darkening to reddish-brown as it ages, and when cut, it is capable of releasing a red liquid that resembles blood, adding even more veracity to its distinctive look of resembling raw meat. This fungus is edible and is considered a delicacy by many people, especially when young, and in addition to its culinary use, ox tongue fungus is highly valued by woodworkers, as oak wood infected by this fungus usually acquires a very desirable reddish-brown color. Bioluminescent fungi. And finally, we're going to talk about fungi that are responsible for one of nature's most fascinating and extraordinary phenomena, because these fantastic organisms we're going to talk about now are capable of emitting their own light in the dark. This incredible natural glow occurs due to chemical reactions, with the result being a greenish or bluish glow, which can be observed mainly at night in damp and dark environments. Currently, around 100 species of bioluminescent fungi are known, distributed in several different genera and found in different parts of the world, especially in the tropical forests of South America, Asia, and Australia. As for why these fungi glow, it is believed that it may have different ecological functions. In some species, it is believed that it serves to attract insects and other small animals that help disperse their spores, promoting their reproduction, while in others it is believed to serve as a way of warding off predators. But regardless of what it is, we can conclude that it is a simply fantastic and impressive natural spectacle, isn't it? But what do you think? What was the most surprising and fantastic fungus on this list? Let us know in the comments which one impressed you the most, and if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next videos we'll be bringing here. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.